What's up, everybody? Fran Mirabella here with Brian Albert, who's reviewing Ghost Recon Wildlands. What's up, Brian?
What's going on, Fran? Just playing this game for 40 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're reviewing the game still. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we got this game a few days ago, and I've played it for about 40 hours over 3 days. So I'm I'm pretty worn out, but I'm having a really good time. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I played a bunch on my own. I played some co-op, got most of the map uncovered, but yeah, still a little bit more to do before the review comes out.
And yeah, I've played a ton. I've been playing a little bit with Brian, so we've got our feet wet in this huge world. And so let's just start with that. So how do you play this game? I mean, it's a huge map with all these objectives. So how does the game drive you along, and what do you do?
Yeah, well, it really doesn't drive you along that much. I think now I haven't restarted. Obviously, I'm still on my first playthrough. I think you always start in the same province. Here, I'll pop up the map.
Yeah, can we see where do you start in this world?
So we start. Oh man, it's huge. This map is gigantic. This one,
Itaqua,
which is where I believe the beta was.
That is correct.
I didn't play it. So this inside this yellow boundary is where you start, and I think there's like a boss in each of these provinces, right? And they all lead up to like the big leader of the Santa Blanca cartel. But yeah, the first boss here, I think you have to take them out first. But after that, you can just kind of go wherever you want.
Yeah, and you can see, right, there's these little skull markers underneath each boss. In fact, zoom all the way out. You can see the bosses, right? Oh, you can't see their difficulty.
But here you can. Yeah, so when you start here, 1 out of 5, whatever, that's fine. But if you just go, one province over, you're at 5 out of 5 difficulty in Montuyac here. So I like wandering. It's sort of you just grab a helicopter, and a few hours into the game, I just grabbed a chopper and flew the perimeter of this map.
Yeah, but you have these. So I mean, that's important for this part of it. I jump in, and I see this thing, missions on the left. How do I know what to do, and how do I progress along? And what do you think of that structure?
Sure. So the structure is it does get pretty repetitive. The gameplay is fun, so I don't mind it, but it is sort of the same thing over and over. What happens is once you get into an area and talk to, you have your DEA contact or whatever leading you through it. Every boss, every little mini boss has 4 to 6 missions that you have to do to uncover who they are, where they are, and what they do.
Yeah, look there, on the left, right? You see Triangle. We're on PlayStation 4 right now.
Yeah,
by the
so
way.
here's I have most of the bosses killed because I'm pretty far in the game. But here, El Gato, he's the cat. He's unkillable, right? That's his thing. So you find his primary mission, and then these are all intel points that unlock special missions. And then once you do 4, 5, 6, depending on the boss, they sort of come out of hiding, or you force their hand, and that's when you usually capture or kill them, right?
Yeah.
And from there, here, I'll zoom out. You work your way up. These are the underlings, and then you get to the main guy here, but then there's 4 trusted heads of production, influence, security, and smuggling.
Yeah, the faction states and all that plays into it too, which I still don't fully understand, by the way, and I've played a good 20 hours, but you can sort of work your way up through production or other various areas.
Yeah, and it's neat because you kind of see and hear things changing in the world as you take these people out, and you hear their propaganda radio stations covering up what you did, trying to make it not quite a disaster. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so okay, what's the story then? So you're in this huge world, and there's a bunch of markers to go to. I'm feeling all right, well, I can just go anywhere as long as I can handle the heat. But how does that play out as a story then? How does it stay connected?
It's so if you're playing this for the story, hey, there's some people doing some bad things and selling drugs and trafficking humans, and that's really bad, and you're gonna go stop them. The actual lure of this game is the loot and the upgrades to your skills. Here, actually, let me show you some of the weapons. So yeah, so every time you defeat a boss, they drop a boss weapon or a boss piece of equipment, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the main carrots at the end of the stick. My favorite here is I killed this boss up on the top left of the map and got this crazy sniper that has the World War II.
Spoilers. Not really. There's a ton of painted guns in this game.
Yeah, and then let me pop back in here. There's a skill tree as well that. Things start out pretty cheap as far as points and resources, but they get really expensive near the end here.
Yep.
And some of them are a little bit, they're kind of weak. The drones, this last tree, it's really not as varied as you think it is because you can only equip one type of drone at a time. But some of these are actually really neat. The weapon ones let you use silencers without having a bunch of damage reduction because of that's the trade-off, right?
Yep.
Or vehicle destruction lets you mow down cars or helicopters, so those aren't as much of a threat.
Yep.
That's kind of the lure for me, is to keep getting better and keep
I mean, as I've seen, it's very much about, okay, yeah, there is a bit of, would you call it a rinse and repeat? You know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like there's sort of like, you've got this mission, you got to sneak in this base, and there's tons of those missions. There's different layouts. It might be raining, it might be snowy, but like, would you say that the missions are very different?
The missions aren't that different. What happens is this game is really good at fostering those emergent moments, and so like, okay, the mission might be the same as that's fine. That's fine. Let's get a little action going here.
You should have shot the alarm, man. You know I'm the guy for that.
You're the alarm guy.
Every time we play, I'm like, shoot the alarm battery, because there's a battery on the alarms that you can shoot.
Ooh, we can take this, but I don't want to do that right now. Yeah. So yeah, like the mission will be the same structure. Like, hey, there's a guy, you need to extract him, right? But like, you'll be playing and suddenly like, oh, the Unidad, like police forces are here, and now we're like dodging choppers in the jungle, or like, I got this guy in my trunk, and the car's going to explode, and I got to get him out and get to a new vehicle. Like, something weird is always happening that keeps it kind of fresh, and especially when you're playing with friends, which we're going to talk about.
Yeah, like right now, you're infiltrating inside this base. You do have AI at your side. You can see them on the map in the bottom right. Dude, LMGs tear up helicopters.
They really do. I highly recommend the
That's a big
damage.
pro tip if you're watching. You can't normally take down a copter like that. But yeah, like right now, you're in here to blow up like cocaine. So to your point, right, you either are going to grab someone, put them in that white car, or you're going to go in, you're going to blow up something. But like, I haven't seen hangars like this before. I haven't played this level.
Yeah, no, this game is not. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So I was going to say, yeah, like although it might be a little good time actually to die, but like although it might be a little samey, there are different environments and you know whether it's raining. But do you feel like there's enough variety there? Or is that to be determined still?
I would say, okay, if you're just asking straight up like mission variety, environment variety, I mean, like visually, yes, this game has so many different like biomes and regions, and it's very cool. No, the mission structure does get a little bit stale. I do have enough fun playing that I don't mind that. It alleviates that, but it does get a little stale for sure.
Yeah. And like, what about like the enemy characters? Yeah, like they do seem, as I've noticed, there's sort of just like some grunts, and then there's a captain, and you're gonna get yourself blown up.
Yeah, I'm right.
Are you next to fuel tanks?
Yeah, I'm getting out of here. Don't mind me.
But so what I was wondering, right? There's all these different types of enemies. Sorry, there's not a ton of different types of enemies. You see a ton of people on the map, but like, yeah, do you feel like there's enemy variety? Like, what is there? There's like a sniper. There's a dude with like SMG or LMG.
It is almost entirely like what you make of it, which sounds a little weird, right? Like it's about the setup and about what happens when that setup inevitably goes wrong. Like it isn't like, oh, the flamethrower guy's after me right now, or like you know, eventually those Unidad like police forces will come after you and like drop mortars and send choppers after you, and that gets things really pumping. But that would be kind of
there is no flamethrower guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no flamethrower. There's no
not like the Division in that sense.
Yeah, there's no. It's very much not like the Division. The Division also has a lot more like, I guess, like exotic, really neat perks. In this game, they're all. I would say most of them are pretty like. Not. I don't want to say boring. That's not what I'm saying. They're just like. They what you see is what you get.
Yeah,
right?
The weapons are pretty straightforward. Like it's a lot about the gear customization. Like, do you like this scope? Do you like this underbarrel and the balance that gives you, and so on. But yeah, you don't really get like a talent, as it's called in Division, like that warplane looking gun you got. I forgot what it was called. That sniper,
the
Warhawk.
Right
looks awesome, and it has a certain level of ability, but it's not like it comes with a super special type thing.
Right, exactly.
So I think we're getting a little bit to the heart of the big questions here, right? So what I'm hearing is you've got this huge map. You know, that's got something going for it. There's a ton to do. And then you've got a lot of missions, but there's a little bit of, like, you know, similarity between them.
For sure.
So you're in here playing alone. So now I think the really big question people want to know, and I hear this a lot, so you play alone? How's that feel versus co-op? Is it similar, or is it very different?
Okay, that is the heart of the game, so let's do this. So I've played about close to 30 hours solo, and I would say 5 or 6 hours with you and another friend in real co-op. I think either way works. I think it actually gets a little bit more difficult with real people. Let's talk about that first.
Yeah.
So with real people, it doesn't matter if you have 1, 2, or 3 teammates. You can't do a mixture of squad AI and real people, which is a little strange.
Yep. As soon as like you drop in, the AI drops out.
Exactly. The cool thing is you're not relying on your teammates who, when you're playing single player, they're good. They're never really going to get in your way. They're not going to trip up the enemy. They're not going to get you alerted. If you go down, they're almost always going to revive you. And when you set them up and move them around with the squad commands, they'll kill things really well, really efficiently. they're good. Like they're super capable. Now, when you're playing with other teammates, everyone's just as dumb as you are, like in real life. But like it's way more fun. Like there's just one person's in a helicopter and you parachute out and land on the road and throw a bomb on this car while your other guy is driving like an APC and ramming them off the road. Like it's just goofy madness, and that keeps like the staleness we were talking about, that like alleviates it for me completely.
Yeah, I mean, playing with you, right? Full disclosure, Brian and I were playing last night for quite some time. Like, I feel like that's where this game shines. And curious if that you'd agree with that. Like, I would agree. Like, it's actually totally fine single player. There's a ton to do. So like, if you just don't have friends to play with, it's actually a great game in that aspect. There's a ton to do.
Yes.
But I feel like there's a lot of similarity back to back, right?
Correct.
But as soon as like you jumped in and we were playing, just the hijinks of like, you're like, dude, I'm out of here. I'm gonna parachute. I'm gonna grab that car, or like whatever. You crashed us into the side of a mountain.
Don't bring that up.
I know, like. That kind of how big the world is, I feel like that's where it shines, because you can actually, right, you can go all the way across the world when I'm on the other side, right?
Yes, we don't even have to be near each other, which is a little odd. That would kind of
defeat
some of the points. But yeah, the drop in, drop out is seamless, by the way. When you pop in, there's no reloading, there's no instancing, there's no like, oh, you got to restart the mission. Like, you just pop in and accept the quest or don't accept it when you're working on someone else's game file.
Yeah.
And like, you just go, and if you die, you can fast travel to them. It's super convenient and fun. I think it is the way to play this game.
Okay. So since this is a review in progress, I want to still put you on the spot a little bit for the people who are on the fence right now as they're listening. Should I buy it? Shouldn't I? How are you feeling? Like, is this a game to go get right now, and for what reasons? And for some people, if not, how are you feeling right now?
Sure.
And I don't know if you have even a score yet, but where are you at with a general
No score yet.
recommendation?
I would feel comfortable scoring this game because I'm 3/4 the way through the game, and I've seen tons and tons of it, right? I think, yes, you should play this game, especially if you have at least like 2 buddies to play with.
Yeah.
It is super fun. It's definitely cyclical, but there's that kind of loop going on there.
Mm-hmm.
The world is like really open and beautiful, and I don't know. When I started playing, I was like, this game's pretty fun. And then I was up at 3 or 4 a.m. And granted, part of that is just for work and I need to play. But I was also like thinking about this game and like, oh, that boss has this great weapon, or like, hey, there's a sniper over in this province and I really want it. Like it gets its hooks in you, and it is really satisfying and fun. I'm feeling good about this game, for sure.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I was playing it all weekend as well, but like when you showed me you got that sniper that you have, which is like a little farther into the game, like I definitely was like, I want to go back and get it. And you talked to me about going back to get it. Even like these weapons. So it does have a little bit of those loot hooks. It is worth stating as well, I think, that you've got a bit of pay-to-play going on. So, we don't have to get into that whole commentary now, but the store, you can go in, get credits, and you can buy these, like, assault rifle packs with all these add-ons. And so I think there's more commentary to be had on
I've never
that.
felt disadvantaged for not doing that.
No.
But I just want to point out that it is there.
And you can get all of that stuff in the game, but it's like a speed you up kind of thing. So okay. Well, Brian, thank you so much for the review so far. We'll be sure to look out for the final one.
It's not me if I don't crash this helicopter.
It is, and I was going to say, all I ask is you don't do this to us when we play later tonight.
Sounds good.
Thanks so much, Brian.
Thanks, friend.
Bye.